Hi friends, I'm Pastor Terry Lee. We are Okotoks Alliance Church, and this is the 10-Minute Coach. I'm going to offer you some and then some comments, I hope, based on the message from Sunday, December 12th. Christmas is giving. Of course, we're in this series, Christmas is, looking at Christmas is love, Christmas is family, Christmas is giving. And each one is challenging in its own right because it's calling us to come back again and look for the story under the story. What is it underneath of giving and the idea of giving that even the act of giving a gift at Christmas, the putting something under the tree, what is it that act of generosity, that act of care, concern, what is it that it's actually getting at? And we kind of went straight at this on Sunday as we went into the stories and said, look, we have been called to give because we serve a God who is a giving God. We have been called to give as He gives in a sacrificial, other-preferring kind of way. And so we talked about the gift of life, the gift of grace, the gift of patience. I would encourage you to go back and, if you're doing this for your own personal devotion, quiet time, just go back and read through the Gospel of John, chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and even into the beginning of 5, but the end of 4 is where we've gone to thus far. Because it sets up John's attempt to paint us a picture of who Jesus is. He begins with this exalted picture, John chapter 1, verse 1, of Jesus Christ, all-powerful, almighty, all-knowing, present at the creation of the world. It says, through Him, the Word gave life to everything that has been created, and His life brought light to everyone. John is making a profound theological statement about who Jesus is. Now, he's going to, in the course of his gospel, bring us back. The very famous ego eimi, that's in the Greek, I am statements of Jesus are echoing back to the Old Testament and God's revelation of Himself to Moses in the burning bush. Who shall I say sent me? I am that I am has sent me. I am the self-existent one. Well, Jesus very intentionally takes that language, puts it on His own lips. Well, John's recounting this for us. He begins with this exalted picture of who Jesus is in the beginning of the gospel, and then he moves into a series of demonstrations of who Jesus is through the sign gifts, the miraculous signs that are encountered. And as we talked a bit about that, I raise this again because the context of what we encounter is so important to us understanding what it is John is driving at. And his big picture, of course, is that we would understand who Jesus is. And he says it very profoundly, very forthrightly in this encounter with the Samaritan woman at the well, when he said, I who speak to you am He, referring to the Messiah. When the Messiah comes, He's going to be, I who speak to you am He. And it's just this, whoa. It doesn't get much clearer than that statement from Jesus. He's able to say that to the Samaritan woman, and then he steps back into the Jewish people. He's been in Jerusalem, he was in Galilee, went to Jerusalem, went out to the wilderness to baptize, goes through Samaria, has the encounter with the Samaritan woman at the well at the village of Sychar, and then goes on up and he's back at Cana where he performed the miracle of turning water into wine, and now he performs what John says is the second miraculous sign in the Galilean region, and it's this sign of healing this boy who has been on death's door. And I hear those stories too, and I oh, that you would heal everyone, Lord. And the day will come when He will. And at this point, there were just a select few who were blessed with that gift of grace. So that's where we've been looking at just this word gift. It pops up through the narrative. Gift of God, gift of life. And so we talked about the gift of grace in particular, and that's certainly going to be the one that is the most difficult one to grapple with. And so I've asked some questions on that. Why would you describe why is it so difficult to issue the gift of grace to other people? We certainly expect it, don't we? Isn't that true? We expect to receive grace. We expect other people to give us the benefit of the doubt. We expect other people to understand when we have an off day. Oh, June, I'm just feeling badly, or I'm just overtired, or we expect people to be giving us grace, and yet I find it difficult. I've been in situations recently where I was very angry. I felt like there was something that was being done wrong, that was a violation, and that ought not to be. And I was both disappointed and I was angry. And I'm not saying that it was even righteous indignation, but it was this reminder that it is going to require intentionality if I am going to be a grace-filled, grace-giving follower of Jesus. Because I think the really pressing question for us in the world in which we're finding ourselves right now is what's the difference in the church going to be? How is it that the church is going to be fundamentally different from those who are falling over themselves with fear and locking themselves inside and haven't come out for 20 months? Or on the other side, people who are crass, ignorant, and careless in their addressing of what is a very, very serious concern for some. And I'm not saying it has to be a serious concern for all, but for those who have some kind of susceptibility, not just the elderly, and not like they're dispensable or anything like that. Nobody's looking to get rid of a grandma or grandpa. But there's some really serious stresses here. And how is the church going to exist in this environment differently? Well, the only way it's going to happen is if we choose to be people of grace. We choose that we are going to love one another no matter what. And we, in moments of grace, also need to be able to speak truth. When somebody's being belligerent, careless, when someone is being obstinate, or when someone is being fearful and is kind of to a ridiculous extreme, taking cautions that are becoming damaging in and of themselves. The range of damage that's being done in these past 20 months is vast, and it's not just related to those who have contracted COVID with a severe outcome of some description. Then we get to this piece of patience, and we have to say, okay, well, Jesus was waiting patiently for the fields to be ripe. In that hour, they were ripe unto the harvest, as he speaks to his disciples. Samaritan woman's gone back to the town. Come and see the man who told me everything I've ever done. They all come, and it says that the village believed in Jesus. What an extraordinary thing. How easily the Samaritans believed, how difficult it has been for the Jewish people to believe. And that's part of the story that John is telling. He's not anti-Semitic, he's Jewish himself. But he is telling a story that a prophet, Jesus' own words, he says, he himself, verse 44, chapter 4, he himself had said that a prophet is not honored in his own hometown. Yet the Galileans welcomed him because they'd seen the miracles. That sets up this situation with the Father who's coming looking for a miracle. He's not coming necessarily with faith. I'm going to leave that for you, since apparently my phone is ringing and perhaps it's urgent. I don't know. I'll call back. But I can't reach it right now to turn it off and spare you the noise. So we'll call it quits with that, and I will invite you to dig into these passages of Scripture and pray that you encounter the richness and the presence of Jesus in that. Thank you for your patience with me and my devices, and thank you for being with me. I'm Pastor Terry Lee. We are Okotoks Alliance Church, and this is the 10-Minute Coach. Bless you, and bye for now.